Morning, everyone. Can you hear me clearly? If you can hear me clearly, maybe you reply yes. Alright, you can hear me alright clearly, right? Very good. Let me shut down the music first. Hi, morning everyone. Welcome back to my live broadcast. Today is 5th November 2020, Thursday, right? So, how do you feel about the current market situation now? I think one word can describe your current mood, emotion, which is surprised, right? So I believe a lot of people have been caught by surprise by the market performance, the sharp rise last night, and actually recent 2 days performance, right? You check the US market, the individual stocks. Wow, you see a lot of upward gaps. So crazy. And for Singapore market, you also see, wow, the market seems like suddenly becomes quite crazy, right? Singapore banks soared, right? So then, after we are caught by surprise, sometimes we don't know what to do, right? So we see that Google, it hit record new high now already. And Jiutian Comical, if you check, they also keep soaring. And NIO has been soaring all the time until last night, right? And then what kind of stocks to buy? If you're looking to buy, what kind of stocks to buy? And also, the other question is it really safe to buy now? That's a question I think you are all concerned with. On one hand, you feel that maybe we have opportunity. On the other hand, you feel maybe, wow, what if it drops sharply? At least, after all, right? So currently, the market situation is still uncertain, especially when it comes to the U.S. general election. Later, we also will talk a bit about the latest status quo of the U.S. general election. And then about the second part, we will talk about individual stock diagnosis, right? So I have told you 2 days ago, if you want to have your individual stocks diagnosed, right? So you WhatsApp me privately the name or the ticker of your stocks, and maybe are you looking to buy or what price have you bought, so that I can give you more detailed advices. Okay, you WhatsApp me privately. In future, I mention again, in future, I will no longer diagnose the stocks written in the comment section. Okay, the comment zone, you put stocks there, I will not diagnose for you. You WhatsApp me privately. Okay, so I diagnose for you. Okay. Before we begin, still, I need to remind you that all the stocks mentioned in the video are for the purpose of demonstration and education, not recommendation. Investors should be aware of the risks involved in stock trading and take full responsibilities for their own tradings. Okay, so firstly, we need to check the latest status quo of the U.S. general election because it will greatly influence the market performance, at least for very short term, right? For very short term. So, superficially speaking, if you check now, Joe Biden is leading, right? So he has got 264 votes, and then for Donald Trump, it's just 214 but it seems like well, Biden only has to win another 7 or 8 votes, so he will be able to secure the president, right? So, but that's just superficially speaking. So if you check the details, this show you that only the one state that Biden now is leading is the Nevada, right? Nevada, Joe Biden is leading, but you see the difference is not that big, right? So it's just less than 1% of leading. So this is very narrow, right? And for the other states, you see all Donald Trump lead, right? And what's more, even if Biden really get more than 270 votes first, earlier than Donald Trump, still we know about Donald Trump. He will not just admit defeat so easily, right? So we see the CNN news. It says that Trump seeks to legitimize the votes, even as his campaign says math will turn his way. And we see that with millions of ballots still being counted, Trump awoke in an agitated state, twittering or retweeting messages that sought to undermine the confidence in the vote counting process, right? So in Michigan and Pennsylvania, Trump's campaign filed lawsuits, right? Already filed lawsuits demanding a stop to the count until their campaign observers have better access to locations. Well, blah blah blah. So means what? It's not that easy for Biden just to win. It's not that easy. It seems like Biden is leading, right? Seems like he has gained the edge, but it's not that easy. And even if at the very beginning, really Biden wins, but Trump would definitely disagree. And if really this turns out to be a controversial result as to who is the final president, right? Maybe we need longer time, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, or even longer time before we can really really have the final result. Who would be the real final president, right? So actually now the market still a lot of uncertainties here. And remember previously I mentioned for stock investments, majority of the participants in the market would be always wrong. Only the minority would be right most of the times. So recent 2 days, we see forceful rally. If we check the performance of the U.S. market, the index is quite strong. Recent 2 days, we see Nasdaq. Already. So we see here, Nasdaq already back above the yellow lines of Homely Rainbow after the forceful rally last night, the big upward gap last night, right? So it seems like now the upward momentum is extremely strong. It seems like very bullish, right? But what if tonight suddenly market give us another sharp drop again? It's not impossible. So if you want to become a really successful investor in the market, you always need to remember that you need to think the opposite to what the majority have been thinking. So the minority wins. So when people are all thinking that the market is quite bullish, it's extremely bullish, you need to know that maybe danger is lurking. Danger might come at any moment, right? So judging by the current situation, we can say that now that the price already back above the yellow lines of Homely Rainbow, in future, if the price drop again, right? So the yellow lines here will be a strong support. It will be strong support here. And above, we also know that we have the resistance based on the Tai Chi signal, right? So if, let's say, in near future, the market, it didn't drop, it continue going up, right? So we still need to wait until the price can finally take the high of the previous yellow Tai Chi signal. It's possible if the price, if continue rising in near future, touch the previous high, might drop first, because this is very strong resistance. That's one possibility. The other possibility is, after such a big rally, recent 2 days, right? It's possible that maybe market would drop first. Drop to test the support here, the previous upward, this upward gap here. If in the future the price drop, to cover the gap. Also possible. Then after the gap is covered, this will be a support. This bottom of the gap here will be a strong support. So then maybe at that moment, by then we need to check the market situation again, and also the latest status quo for the U.S. general election again, the final results. If still we can have a final result in a very short time, maybe the market will be happy about that result. Maybe in future it might turn upward again, get support here. But if the result turned out to be still unclear, uncertain, we need to wait for even a longer time, maybe people frustrated, investors frustrated, might even drop further to touch the previous low. Everything is possible here, right? Everything is possible here. Okay, so this is the possibilities here. Means what? Although recent 2 days the rally is quite forceful, seems like market turned out to be turns bullish again, but it may not be that safe. Everything still is uncertain. We have above, we have resistance. Below, although we have support, but everything is not very clear now. What if tonight the market drop again, right? Okay, so this is for Nasdaq. Nasdaq is the strongest among the 3 indexes now, right? And if we check S&P 500, roughly the same pattern as Nasdaq, but for this one, the upward gap is smaller. And the support here also, it is the support, the yellow lines of rainbow. If in near future it drop, touch the support, get support, then see how in future, right? And then we also have resistance above yellow Tai Chi signal, right? And for Dow Jones, you see, although recent 3 days the rebound also is quite forceful, right? But you see it's still around the yellow lines of Homely Rainbow. It didn't really break up. It tried to break up the resistance here last night, but in the end, it dropped to be around the yellow line level. It's still weaker than the other 2 indexes. And if in the future it go back above the yellow lines, right? So we also have the Tai Chi signal and also the previous high here. It's roughly around the same level. So this would be a resistance in future. And if it unable to break up the resistance around the yellow lines, maybe drop again. Below we have support around the blue line and the white line. You put a cursor on the line, you will be able to see the value here, right? For Homely members, you can check the values yourself. Okay, so then because we see the Nasdaq performance is very strong, right? Then you can imagine for the high-tech giants must have sold last night and recent to this. And if we check, Google is the strongest. Google is the strongest. Why is the strongest? Actually, previously I already mentioned for the high-tech giants how to deal, right? And we see now Google already hit a historical new high. The previous high is here. Back in 2nd September, the high price is 1,733.179. This is the previous high, and now we see last night the price already taken the previous high here, hit a new high already. Google set a new high. You see, that's historical new high, right? So that's something big. In future, the rising space might be great in future. And then for the first red circle, right? I have mentioned when is the red circle about Google, right? So first red circle, I mentioned it may have an opportunity because first red circle, once we have the confirmation, then the price high probability would go up for short term, right? And then if you follow the trading principle here, because first red circle and big boys increase, right, to be more than 25%, no retailer. So the pattern here is beautiful. We know we have resistance, the previous yellow Tai Chi, but you follow the indicator here to buy. Actually, the following day upward gap, big upward gap, already above the high price of the previous yellow Tai Chi. So if you're very good at super short-term trading, last night you will be able to buy in when the market open after the big upward gap. Then if you only care about short-term, super short-term profit, maybe you already sold away last night. During the trading slot, you make some profit, you sold away. If you check the rally for Google yesterday, last night, that's around 6%. So you will be able to secure at least 3 or 4% of profit, right? But this is for really super short-term speculation, right? For speculation, that's how you can do it. And then for short-term, considering now the price is already very far away from the first red circle, I mentioned if the price is very far away from the circle, then the price will easily drop to be close to the circle or to touch the circle. Considering now, okay, so the price already very far away from the circle, then if you have bought, but you want to hold for even a longer time, you don't want to trade a super short-term trading. You want to make higher, bigger profit. You think that Google in future might continue going up further because price already hit new high, right? Then how to deal with it? That's a problem, right? So how to deal? Firstly, you can set your stop loss around the high price of the previous yellow Tai Chi signal, because that's also the top of this upward gap last night, right? So this might be your first stop loss level. So means in near future, if you don't intend to sell, okay, if you don't intend to sell Google after you have bought, right, and then you want to hold, even if the price drop tonight or in near future, if still the close price remain above the low price of this candle, which is also the high price of the previous yellow Tai Chi signal, right? This is strong support. If the price stop dropping further around the level, still can keep holding. But if it drop below, you already can consider stop loss, because the worst thing that is happening here is you don't have profit for Google. But if you were successful, your attempt is the successful one, maybe in future you might get bigger profit for Google. So this is how we can maximize our chances to win bigger profit and to minimize our risks, right? So this is your first stop loss level. And if you even want to tolerate even bigger risks, the next level can be set as stop loss will be the high price of this first reciprocal candle, because that's the bottom of the previous gap, the upward gap here. That's the bottom of this gap here. If the price even it drop below the low price of the second reciprocal candle, it keep dropping further, maybe you're already at loss, but you have confidence that in future the price gets support here, might turn upward again, continue going up a lot, then maybe you can check this level as your stop loss. But the precondition is you are willing to take higher risks. You are aggressive investor. If you are not, maybe your stop loss is here, right? And if you just want to make some profit, last night you already sold away. You understand what I mean, right? Okay, so this is for Google. Why I talk about Google? Because actually Google is the most beautiful chart among the 5 high-tech giants, because I mentioned already hit a historical new high, already break up the previous resistance level for the first time, and the big boys is around 75% now. It's the most beautiful pattern among the 5 high-tech giants. If you check the rise, okay, you check Apple. Okay, so you see Apple today, last night, that's the first reciprocal, right? But still, it's below the yellow lines of rainbow. So if price unable to break up the yellow lines, high probability the reciprocal here would fail, because we also need to wait for the confirmation, right? Reciprocal, we see it. It's not the immediate buy point. We wait for the confirmation. And on the other hand, we see the big boys, generally speaking, still decreasing. So this one you can keep monitoring. Maybe the high-tech giants in near future still have some probabilities to do the short-term speculation, some short-term profit. You follow the trading system here, you will be able to catch them. And also, if there is any big risk, you will be able to avoid them. Okay, so this is for Apple. Still need to wait and see, right? And then for Amazon last night, the rally is forceful, much more forceful than Apple. And the first reciprocal here, price already break up the yellow lines of homely rainbow, right? So we see retailers disappear. The big boys now is slightly weaker, less than 25%. If tonight we have confirmation, you know what I mean, right? The close price should be higher than the high price of the first reciprocal candle. So if we have the confirmation for short term, maybe also you will be able to catch some profit for short term trading. But you need to follow the indicator here strictly. All right. So this is for Amazon. And how about Microsoft? Okay, also you see the Microsoft give us the first reciprocal, but you see it's not that as strong as Google, because we see the big boys now it's a bit weak. It's just around less than 10%. It's less than 10%. It's weaker, right? It's weaker. But first reciprocal, if we have the confirmation, short term, we still might be able to have some profits. If no profits, the price touch our stop loss level, we stop loss. So what's the stop loss level? Let's say for Microsoft, clearly you can set a low price of this first reciprocal candle here as your stop loss, or you can tolerate higher risk, maybe the yellow line, the last yellow line here, the last yellow line of homely rainbow also can do. So here, the last yellow line here is around $210.79. Okay, so that's for Microsoft and anyone else? Oh yeah, Facebook, right? Facebook. Okay, so you see Facebook, the pattern here also is, this is a beautiful pattern, right? Because you see the previously, we have the Saturday platform here, price finally break up, first recycle, big boys increase to be around 50%, really retailer disappear completely. This pattern actually is more beautiful than that for Microsoft and Amazon, right? Yeah, and also Apple. And Google is the strongest pattern now, but you already missed the buy points for Google. And for Facebook, maybe we can have some opportunity for this one. And then for previously the Tai Chi signal here, we need to see the price whether or not can break up the Tai Chi. If unable to break up, maybe it would drop first. But if it drop, when to sell, how to decide whether or not we should sell if you have bought in future, right? So we talk when by then, right? Not now. It's too early to talk about that. Okay, so this is for the high-tech giants. You see that actually the high-tech companies, they have not been that greatly influenced by the current market uncertain situation. And actually, I think recent 2 days, a lot of or most of the individual stocks actually are in rise, right? So indexes are very important to check. Okay, so this is for the US, the high-tech giants. And then for Singapore market, right? When it comes to Singapore market, maybe you are looking at Jiutian Chemical, right? Actually, Jiutian Chemical, if you check the software indications, a 10 to Y circle here, right? That's 30th October, end of last month, Y circle, then red circle 2 days ago. First red circle 2 days ago, yesterday, that is a confirmation yesterday, right? And then today, that's a rally for today. So you see, today now it's almost around 10% of rally for Jiutian Chemical, right? So I can understand yesterday why you are hesitant to buy. You hesitate to buy, that's because you feel this is a big rise. You feel it's a big rise and it's very high. That's 14%. It's very high. You are frightened by the height here, right? But I mentioned, if you follow the indicator, right? So as long as you follow the indicator here, the trading principles you follow, most of the times you will be right. You will be successful. You'll be able to secure the profit. And even if you failed, the indicator here failed this time, it's also possible because the success rate is 87.4%. It's not 100, right? So what if, let's say we failed? If we failed, the worst thing happen would be it would touch my stop loss level, then I stop loss. That's all. So the risks will be within control. Risks will be within control, but the profits, if you are successful, you are right, then you will be able to secure. That's how we can take small risks to maximize our profit, to make the biggest profits. So that's basically what we do for stock investment, because you cannot eliminate risks or uncertainties completely. No one can do that. So what we can do is we take small risks, but to get biggest profits. So by following the indicator here, you will be able to do that. Because if you don't check the indicator, you certainly will be frightened. 14% of rally, so it's too high. But you follow the indicator here. The indicator tell you this is safe. You follow it. Then you will be able to overcome your fears to catch the opportunities here, the big rally today. So this is why you need to set up your effective trading system and stick to it. Even for homely members, right? If you're already a homely member, right? Even if you have the software, it doesn't mean that you can really make profit now. If you want to do that, you really need to master the software. So if you want to do that, you need practice. By practicing, you will be able to set up or build your confidence in the software. The software, the success rate has been tested for many years by numerous investors in the market, but only you still need to build your confidence in it yourself. Others, they have confidence. I have confidence in the software. It doesn't mean you have confidence in the software. You want to set up your own confidence, you need to practice. Well, and also for those who are not yet homely member, right? So you are not homely member, maybe by watching this video, you will be able to get something about how the software works. But still, if you feel that this software may be able to help you, you need to install the software in your computer to practice. Under our guidance, you practice so that you will really finally be able to set up your own effective trading system with the help of the software and with the help of our trainings, right? Otherwise, if you just watch this video, then nothing, then maybe you cannot benefit too much from this video or from our courses. Okay, so this is about Jiutian chemical, right? And then for some other Singapore shares worth attention, let's say for the banks, right? So the banks. So yesterday I mentioned the banks. So today DBS is very strong. It's crazy. It's 3.85% of rally. Then you're thinking, well, maybe you have missed the opportunity here. But I tell you, if you missed the rally here for DBS, nothing to feel sorry for, because we cannot catch all the opportunities in the market. If we can make sure that we catch the opportunities, we have control, then you are already a winner in the market. Because no one can catch all the rallies, all the big rises in the market. Even if DBS rise so much today, you missed it. But never mind, you missed it. In future, if really the market is going to be bullish, the general market would be bullish, you will have a lot of opportunities to buy in DBS and the other two banks. Because I mentioned for the banks, they follow the indexes. If the indexes, the STI, turn to long-term bullish again, for the banks you buy, you will be able to hold for medium-term to long-term trend, for medium-term to long-term, and after a while, maybe 6 months or maybe 1 year, you look back, you feel that, well, this is just a very small profit you have missed. It's nothing compared with the potential, let's say 30%, 50%, or even 100% profit in future. What I mean is, for long-term investments, okay, we don't care about the 3% of rally, 3 or 4% of rally for short term. What we care about is whether or not this is the real bullish reversal. That's what we need to care about for banks like DBS. Because banks, the best, how you can maximize the profit from banks. Bullish market, you buy at the beginning of the long-term bullish reversal, you keep holding. But if the market still remain to be weak or volatile or sideways for the banks, this is just a very small opportunities, short-term rally here. In future, might drop again. So everything depends on the performance of STI, and performance of STI also will be greatly influenced by the US market. So in the end, you still need to check the performance of the US market. Okay, so if we check the STI now, okay, we can check the current performance for STI now to see what might happen in near future. We check today with the price, the latest prices. Yeah, it's a big rally today for our STI, of course influenced by the US market, right? So now the price is around 2,570. If we check, okay, let's check the index, because we want to know the chances for the banks. We have to check the index. So for Nasdaq, for FSSDI. So yeah, last night we see, yesterday, right? So we see yesterday the price finally already above the yellow line of Homely Rainbow. It turned out to be a support in future, and now the price is around 2,570. Where is it? You see, it's around the blue line. Okay, so obviously the blue line here would be very strong resistance here. It's not that easy for STI to break up the 2,570 level, because this is where the last, let's say that this is the first blue line lies. If I count from top to the bottom, this is the first blue line. I count from bottom to top, this is the last blue line, right? Okay, so anyway, this blue line here, that's the level where currently STI sits, 2,570, right? This resistance level is not easy for STI to break up. Okay, considering now the price already gave us very forceful rally 4 days on end, ever since 2nd November until today. That's a very forceful 4-day rally on end. So if for short term the rally is too forceful, then possibly or likely, maybe faced with the resistance here, the price might drop. Especially if tonight the US market a drop, right? Also after a big rally for the US market recently, then STI also might possibly drop. So I remind you already, when the market is extremely bullish, you need to remind yourself of the potential risks. Risks may come at any moment. So how do we fend off the risks? Yeah, you stick to the effective trading system, right? So you trade any individual stock, you pick the right stock, the strong stock, and then you follow the, let's say, the red and white circle. You follow the red and white circle and Homely Rainbow and multicolored dragon. Naturally speaking, you already safer than others, and then you set your stop loss level, right? You set your stop loss level, so even if there is sudden unexpected big drops, you will be able to escape in time, because you have already set up your stop loss. The price touched the stop loss, your loss will be within control, but your profit would be limitless. Chances great in future, as long as you follow the effective trading system here, right? So this is for about the banks, and then we continue to talk about the STI. Then if we check the end of day, still a bit for banks, where is the resistance level in future for DBS, right? Obviously, here is a previous yellow Tai Chi signal. Yeah, and the bottom for that yellow Tai Chi, that's around $21.91. Okay, and the top of the yellow Tai Chi, that's $21. That's $22.72. And what do we see now? The price for DBS now already reached that level, right? So today current price is $22.38. Okay, so it will be very close to the $22.72. So means the rising space here is already limited after the big rally today, right? So faced with the resistance here, the immediate resistance level here, maybe the price would turn downward again. So if it turn downward in near future, right? So we need to check closely whether or not the support around the white lines can hold. If after the test here, the levels, the white lines support can hold, then this will be the effective or successful birth of dark horse, means long-term bullish reversal. If in future, after the price get support around the white lines, or maybe even drop below the white lines, get support at the yellow lines and blue lines in future, and then stop dropping, and then go back above the resistance level here again. So the previous yellow Tai Chi, the high price, right? So that will be confirmed for DBS long-term bullish reversal. So in future, we might be able to have a forceful rally, a medium-term to long-term rally for banks. At least for if DBS it fire that way, OCBC and UOB would follow, right? But until now, OCBC, UOB still below the white lines. DBS is the strongest. Okay, it's the strongest. It's the earliest one to show the bullish reversal sign here, long-term bullish reversal sign here, right? And yeah, so if that happen in future, it must means that STI already also turn to long-term bullish. The banks and the index, they are bonded together. They are together, okay? Yeah, but that would be maybe because the US market already turned out to be bullish again. Already, all the uncertainty is gone. Everything about the market becomes certain. The president finally already decided we got a clear result, and also the economy recover, everything optimistic. Maybe the news about the vaccine also turned out to be optimistic. Then everything become quite optimistic, quite good. Then maybe market begin another bullish rally again for medium term to long term. But that's just our expectations. We need to see whether or not the market would fare in that way. Okay, so this is for the banks. Okay, so don't feel let's say you have missed a great opportunity here for banks. The reason to this rally, if in future you look back, you will feel it's a very small profit here, because we are looking at a medium term to long term bigger chances for banks, not just a small profit like 3% or 4%. Okay, yeah, for short term it's already reached the resistance level here, maybe would turn downward in near future, right? So means you better not to chase after the rally. Okay, never do that. Whatever situation you are in, you never chase after the rally. Okay, so that's my opinion about banks. Okay, and then previous videos I mentioned about Sun Power. You still remember, right? 5GD. Okay, so for Sun Power, we see today the rally is quite forceful, right? But if you have been following my video all the time, you already have been able to bought in, because I mentioned yesterday actually, we have the confirmation to buy 2nd November, right? So you buy, after that the price it drops slightly first, but you don't need to sell because it never touch our stop loss level. So you don't have to sell, then you will be able to secure the big profit for today. So this is how you can catch the opportunities, because back several days ago, we don't know that for SunPower, the rally today can be so forceful. But we already bought based on the trading system, because the success rate is high and your stop loss already set, your risks or your loss will be within control, right? So your profit would be limitless in future. So this is how you catch opportunity. Okay, so this is for the stocks and the market situation I want to share with you. And now it's about the time for individual stock diagnosis. Let me see who has sent me WhatsApp, okay? Who has WhatsApped me these individual stocks to check. Okay, so there is one. This friend wants to check about Caterpillar. Yeah, this one I mentioned in my previous videos, right? Caterpillar. Yeah, so you see, I think you asked because yesterday there is a very sudden downward gap here, right? So based on the trading system here, right? First recycle, that's a potential buy point. But last night, when you see a gap down open and keep dropping further, no confirmation, actually no buy points for Caterpillar. Okay, so if you want to ask me, well, why it dropped so much suddenly, right? So actually, I didn't check any fundamental news, so I honestly don't know why it dropped so much last night, right? But what I know is, I follow the system here. I will be able to, let's say, avoid buying at the wrong position here, avoid the losses here. Okay, so I don't know whether or not you have bought or you are holding, because you didn't tell me. Maybe you can talk to me in more details after the live broadcast, right? Okay, so this one maybe in future still have chance, but I need to say, because the yellow lines of rainbow here still support, and also in near future if the price drop a bit, get support at a recircle. Also possible it might turn upward again, right? Because I don't know whether or not the drop is caused by some news, right? Some bad news. But if the news, the influence is very short-term one, maybe after the drop, the price gets support might turn upward again, right? So for this friend, if you want to know how to deal with it in future, you talk to me privately, okay? So what are the other stocks you'd like to diagnose? Let me check. Well, there is one other. Want to check about UG Healthcare, right? Okay, so let's check UG Healthcare. 8K7. Wow. Okay, so for UG Healthcare, yesterday, because we're checking the end of day, yesterday, that's a first recycle. Actually, this is a potential buy. If today, the price above the high of the first recycle candle here, yesterday's candle, so that's a confirmed buy point for short-term trading. Of course, above we have some resistance around the previous yellow Tai Chi signal, but we still have chances that price can break up, right? If the retailers keep decreasing, the big boy is so strong until now, right? Yeah, so let's check the performance for today, UG Healthcare today, because just now we were checking the end of day. 8K7. Yeah, so actually today it is a confirmed buy point here. Okay, it is a confirmed buy point today, because currently the close price is higher than the high price of the first red circle candle. Actually, if you strictly follow the trading rules, we need to wait until the market is about to close, right? So we know whether or not the close price really can be higher than the first red circle candle here. So because it seems like currently the upward momentum is not that strong, until now the price movement has been quite mild, right? So maybe you can keep monitoring until the market is about to close to decide. Okay, if you check the US healthcare stocks, right, actually quite strong. Recent 2 days, the U.S. healthcare stocks quite strong. Simply for our Singapore, the healthcare stocks haven't yet begin to give us a rally. Maybe have chance in near future, right? But you follow the indicators here. Okay, so let me check one other. Okay, so it's already 12:50, right? So maybe let me check the last one. Which is the last one you want to check? Okay, so there's one other friend who want to check about yeah, this is UMS. Okay, UMS. Let me check UMS. 558. Okay, so UMS. This is for yesterday. For yesterday, it's still below the yellow lines of homely rainbow. It's still white circle, right? But if the price rise today, I suppose the circle would turn red and the price would be already above the yellow lines of homely rainbow. Maybe the retailers might decrease a bit, big boys might increase a bit. For short term, maybe that's a buy signal, but we wait for the confirmation, right? So means today, even if the circle turn red today for UMS, if you want to be quite safe, you better wait for the confirmation tomorrow. So let's check the performance now for UMS 558. Yeah, interesting. Today it does turn out to be a red circle. First red circle today. And retailer decrease further. The big boys not increase so much. You can keep monitoring this one. Maybe can have opportunity in near future, right? You need to wait for the confirmation at least. And don't forget, just now I checked the end of day. There is a yellow Tai Chi signal, right? So I check again for you. The yellow Tai Chi signal is here around what the price? Okay, wow. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay, so this is the previous yellow Tai Chi signal. In near future, would be resistance. The low price of the previous yellow Tai Chi signal is around $1.02, and the high price, that was the close price. Sorry, the low price is $1.010. The high price is 1.040. Okay, so that's the resistance levels in near future. But I said you can keep monitoring. This one may have opportunity. Okay, so yeah, I think it's already very long, this video, right? So I don't want to hold you for too long. But before we call it an end today, don't forget to follow me on my Facebook page. You can if you haven't yet followed my page, right? You can search at Homely Lee, and my Facebook page is called Trade with Homely Chart. This is my profile picture. You can follow it, like it, and also you feel this video is helpful or interesting, feel free to share with your friends. And actually I hope that you can share with your friends, because the more people join us, the more motivation I will get, right? So looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Oh yeah, there's one other thing I nearly forgot, right? Yeah, one important notice about this coming Saturday, right? This coming Saturday in the morning, 10:30 a.m. to p.m. That is an English seminar, and this one is conducted by me. Okay, so this is my English seminar. If you are interested, you can register. You can WhatsApp me privately to register for this English session. And also, if you you also can speak some Mandarin in the afternoon of this coming Saturday, right? So we have a Mandarin session. Yeah, you see, succeed in stock trading after U.S. election. So for my session, also I will talk a bit about how to catch the chances around the U.S. general